Nicole Stoller. She's the founder and host of the Richer Geek podcast. She's got over 90 units and has a 64-room hotel under contract. Her focus is not multifamily, it's hotels. I don't know a whole lot of people who are focused on hotels, and I wanted to talk to her about why she likes hotels, and she gave some examples or some reasons why. And she said you can get for the same you get higher profitability for the number of rooms you have compared to per room. You have higher profitability per room versus multifamily with hotels. And she elaborated more on that. And she said, because you can monetize hotels because they have a different clientele than, say, C-class apartment communities. She said, you can offer free Wi-Fi, but then you can have an opportunity to upgrade that Wi-Fi. And, as most of us have noticed on planes, when you go buy Wi-Fi, a lot of the times it says here's free Wi-Fi or here's a set price for Wi-Fi if you just want to browse the internet, and here's a higher price should you want to watch movies or download larger files. And so same concept here. She said other ways to monetize hotels, you can offer when someone logs into the Wi-Fi, you can offer just have a splash page and then sell advertising to local restaurants on that splash page. And then she got to other examples like, there's a breakfast space that you can rent out for events when it's not being used. She gave a list of things, but one thing it made me think of is some of these concepts don't just apply to hotels; they also could apply to multifamily. And for example, the splash page example made me think of, well, okay, all hotel guests or most hotel guests are logging into Wi-Fi, and they're being exposed to this advertising. What about apartment communities? What do most apartment residents do? And that is most of them pay their bills. And so how is the rent presented to them? And is there a way to incorporate some sort of advertising component to that and sell that space? So if it's an online bill, does it have to just be an invoice or something that is sent to the tenant on some accounting type of paper or template, I should say? Or can it be something that also has a local restaurant in it? And this isn't going to be big bucks unless you have a large apartment community, but you could drive some incremental revenue. And you can also be giving your residents some exclusive discounts to these restaurants. So it could help with your retention, which I would argue would be more valuable from a bottom line standpoint than any type of advertising dollars you'll receive for selling that space.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear how other seemingly completely disconnected real estate niches are able to in this case monetize to make money, and then try to kind of pull the underlying concept of how they're doing it and see how you apply it to real estate. So you did exactly that. So the free splash page, the underlying concept is just advertising. So what ways can you incorporate advertising into your apartment to make more money? So your example was to somehow have an advertisement on maybe the portal that is used to collect rent. Another example I remember from a podcast way back in the day was someone put up a billboard on the corner of one of their buildings and leased that out for advertising dollars. Yep. So for these three right here, so the Wi-Fi upgrades kind of like offering some sort of upgrade. So what can you offer at your apartment that's typically free or not expensive, and then something else on top of that. So maybe it's a regular unit and a furnished unit. Maybe you can somehow offer a free Wi-Fi upgrade or a cable upgrade or something like that. And then the other one was the events. So if you have a big apartment community, you might have like a really nice clubhouse, you might have like a really nice business center or a conference room that you could rent out to people who live there for, you know, not a lot of money, but for whatever event they want to put on. So kind of just not just kind of looking at these types of things at a deeper level is I think is good, and that's kind of exactly what Joe just did.
Yeah, I mean, and even if it's $1,000 a month extra, which it might not seem like a lot, but if it's $1,000 a month at an 8 cap, that's $150,000 worth of increased value that you've created for your apartment communities. 1,000 times 12,000 divided by 8% is 150,000. So you can see how by doing a handful of these extra things, I mean, you get well into 6 figures and even into 7 figures just by being more intentional about it.